Hello and welcome to the alpha review of Edge of Eternity. Before I start, if you've not yet seen the video we made before about the pre-alpha on this channel, then please click the video on the screen now and watch that. It's just where I talk about the Kickstarter campaign, the people creating the game, and the basic premise and gameplay elements that will be implemented in the final version. So this is just a quick update about the game's process and the changes that have happened from the pre-alpha. Firstly, the graphics seem to have improved, and even though some elements from the pre-alpha were already quite impressive like the lighting and the particle effects, some of the pre-alpha's graphics were also a little lacking. It seems in the alpha the game's overall look seems to have been brought up to the same impressive level as the particle effects and the lighting. So the demo starts with a very long piece of dialogue explaining the backstory, which hopefully will be updated with a CGI cutscene or some sort of short video, but it sets up the premise of the storyline nicely. Basically, a rough overview, which probably isn't the best description, is that a group of technologically advanced beings come from space and help the humans by giving them their technology. They then start to ask if they can mine their materials, and the humans say yes because they were being helpful. Then, after a while, the beings, just like any good JRPG, ask if they could mine their planet's crystals. The humans deny this and this starts a war, and the aliens have their machines and their technology and the humans have their magic. After a long struggle, the aliens use a powerful weapon which seems to mutate humans and merge them with machines, which the main character's mum gets infected, which causes him to leave the army to try and find a cure for her. So, with that quite strange storyline out the way, let's get into the new battle system. The battle system has had a complete overhaul and is actually really challenging and fun to play. The battle arena is quite large and is made up of hexagonal floor tiles, which allows for a mix between a traditional JRPG battle system and something similar to chess. So if you want to attack with close quarter weapons like a sword, you'll need to be in the tile next to the enemy. If you want to heal a teammate, you need to be in the same tile as your teammate. Using long distance magic like fire, thunder or ice allows you to be multiple tiles away from the enemy and also keeping you safe from their close quarter attacks. The boss in the demo, as you can see from this video, can also place elemental traps on tiles which damage you over time, meaning that not only do they make you move around the map often, but they also obstruct tiles temporarily, making them unusable. When an enemy is charged up his long distance attacks that usually come in waves from the enemy out towards the edge of the play space, a red line will show its attack path. You then have a short amount of time to move your characters out of the attack's path in order to dodge the attack. Characters cannot go on tiles with enemies on or with objects on them like trees or rocks. This means that play spaces can vary even within the same open world areas by positioning objects on different tiles. These objects are normally in the same positions as in the open world, so if there's a save point right next to the battle, in the battle play space there will be the save point occupying one of the tiles. The button configuration is incredibly easy to remember and to use, resulting in quick reactions and the ability to perform actions without needing to read the attack menu every time. You have your actions like attack, move, defend and items while holding the left trigger, and your magic and spells while holding the right trigger. So moving on from the battle system, the customization in the demo is limited in terms of what items you receive, but gives an idea as to what the final game will be like. At the end of each battle, you get a 5-star rating based on your performance, and this also determines what items and how much gold you'll get for each battle. I got weapons and armor every time I got a 5-star rating, and although the demo often gave me the same weapons and items, they all had different levels and some of them had different stats. As well as the character leveling up, every weapon levels up through an experience points based system as well from fighting. Some weapons had a maximum of 5 levels while some had 20 or more. That means if I got a weapon that I was already using, there was also a possibility that I could get a higher leveled version of the same weapon. The weapons also have a crystal based upgrade system which is similar to Final Fantasy X sphere grid. You place different coloured crystals on the grid to activate different spells, or upgrade attack, defense or magic stats. These crystals are attached to your equipped weapon rather than to your character, and each weapon has a different grid layout, resulting in the possibility of hundreds of customizations. If you swap weapons, you need to start the sphere grid again, but you have the ability to remove crystals from previous weapons to reuse. You get crystals from chests around the map after finishing a battle, or from side quests which can be obtained from NPCs around the world or from the quest board. Another thing that's an interesting addition to this game is that based on the time, weather and environment, some elements can get a strength boost and some can weaken, so you need to keep checking the symbols around the minimap to make sure you're using the correct spells at the correct time. The game boasts about options that will change the way the game progresses. For example, maybe you decide not to kill an entire group of bandits on the road, and then later on in the story they burn down a town which could have been prevented earlier in the game. This demo has these options. For example, I had the choice to slaughter all of the remaining wolf pups or let the smallest ones go. Each answer resulted in fighting the wolf queen, but maybe later in the game they could have grown up to cause trouble in the nearby town or something. Choosing to kill the wolf pups also seemed to make the second character, who's the main character's sister, think negatively of you, so maybe this could have some effects later on in the game as well. Later on in the demo, after saving a merchant from bandits and helping him safely back to the village, he asks whether you find weapons, crystals or accessories more important. It could be that your choice determines what items a merchant will later stock in his shop, or maybe the pricing of certain items, which is a clever mechanic to include. Underneath the health bars during battles you have the party's stamina, which at the end of the forest area was very low. The game prompted me to go to the nearby town and sleep at the inn to replenish my stamina. When I was at 13% stamina, it said that I would get a 13% decrease in all stats. This is also an interesting mechanic that I'm not too sure what else stamina will affect in the final game, if anything. The demo consisted of a snowy area that got you used to the controls, a cavernous area to learn the battle mechanics, a forest area to learn about customizations, and finally an open world area. Here is a map released by the creators showing the size of the open world area of the demo. This map shows just one of many open world areas that will be in the final game, showing how big this game could possibly be. The demo took me about 4 hours to run through, taking things slowly. I didn't do everything in it, so it would have taken me longer if I wanted to do the optional bosses and everything, which I probably will go back and do. Hopefully there's a lot more open world maps with different environments, weathers and aesthetics, just to keep this game looking interesting and fresh. Although everything in this game, like the battle system and other gameplay elements, are as they will be in the final game, such as the hexagonal tile battle mechanic, the creators have said that the demo lacks the polish and final improvements of the final game that will be based on feedback from the community based on the alpha and the beta. Other things that aren't in this alpha test, which hopefully will be in future tests before the final game, is a crafting system, Nekaru riding, which is the giant cats that you saw in the pre-alpha, Nekaru breeding and summons. As you've seen from the video, 3 of Yasunori Mitsuda's music tracks are in the demo and they're really good. Overall, I'm really impressed with the game so far and can't wait to try the beta. If you're interested in the game, I've put a link to the website to buy the game and get access to the beta in the description below. But if you don't want to do that, just keep checking back at this channel as I'll make another video update when the beta is released. Thanks for watching and see you next time.